Okay,
Now you can see me.
there you are. Ta-da! Very good. Very good. So you have what's your next big tournament?
Our next big one is probably the soccer tournament, Middletown Spring Blast. That's our next big one.
I hope it goes on.
I hope it happens. Yeah.
A couple of years ago, it was so cold, that tournament, that they had to cancel it.
That tournament is always, that tournament never has good weather.
When is the mask?
The mass tournament is the first 2 weekends in April, I believe, this year.
Yeah, it should be coming soon. Yeah.
That's how I started my business. I was their hotel coordinator, and that's how I started my business. I did it as a parent, and then ended up
Organizing.
doing my business and starting it.
And I'm sure, like we talked about, when you started that, it was huge. The mask was huge back then.
It was huge. Now it's not so huge. Unfortunately, I think they could do it in one weekend, but they want to keep the 2 weekend thing up.
All these showcases have gotten so much bigger.
Good afternoon, Jordan and Matt.
How's it going?
All right.
Matt,
See you.
welcome.
I appreciate it.
Give it a minute or so, and then we'll go ahead and get started, because those of you who came on time, we are not going to wait for everybody if they can't make it. That Kristen Clark is Bill Clark, right?
Makes sense. I was wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Bill.
Yes, it's Bill.
Okay. Okay.
Trying to find all my buttons.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and get started. Thank you, and I welcome you back, for those of you that are back for week 2. And for folks like Matt and Bill, welcome. I know we've reached out to you to get you caught up on things, and I'm sure you'll pick the ball up and run with it from here. And like always, we're available for questions. Again, with me today are myself and our one of our other founding partners, Gonzalo, and we'll do the bulk of the presenting, and then Katrina and Kyron. As I say, every time we get together, the people that make magic happen, they're the ones that follow up and make sure operationally and from a marketing standpoint, we're on top of things. So we're all here for you guys, and available for you to ask questions and make the most of this experience for you. So we'll pick back up. Well, actually, before we go, I do want to allow Matt and Bill a very, very quick, and I would ask you please to be quick with name, business name, and industry, literally that quick, and so that the others in the room know what industries that are in the call. So Matt, you want to share that with us, please?
Certainly. Name's Matt Dunn. Company is EDR Marketing, specifically focused on sports marketing, corporate hospitality, event management, and experiential. Appreciate the opportunity to be a part.
Sure. Great. Thank you. Bill.
Bill Clark. I'm a Town Money Saver franchisee. We do print and digital advertising. The print side, we do a monthly magazine on digital. We do everything from website design to SEO to Google reviews and things like that.
Awesome. Great. Thanks and welcome to the both of you. I know, Bill, you were mourning last week. Your Kansas City Chiefs taking it on the chin. I know you were mourning. So,
yeah.
So I understand and respect how you weren't able to make it. But nonetheless,
Thank you for reminding him.
Yeah. I could,
Appreciate
well,
it.
he has that sign up. It reminded me by seeing your sign behind you. So let's pick back up where we left off, and Matt and Bill, just what we're really getting at the core through the course of our 4 weeks is we want to work on mindset each time we talk for 5 or 7 or so minutes, because mindset matters. Okay, so we'll talk about mindset and some things to remind us to get us in the right place, and then we really work under 2 models: the 6 steps to a profitable business that can work without you. And sometimes it can take years to get your business to that point, but it's something that you want to work towards as you're looking at being a business owner and owning your business, and how you ultimately want to potentially walk away from the business. So 6 steps to a profitable business that runs without you. And then secondly, and really where we're going to spend the bulk of our time the rest of the 3 sessions, 5 ways to, people use all kinds of different words, but to dramatic growth. One of the reasons you guys are here and the reasons you signed up is the word change and or growth resonated with you, and you wanted to understand, what do I need to do to change my business? What do I need to do to grow my business? So that's where we're going to spend the bulk of our remaining time together. So let me kick it off with our mindset for today. Mindset for today is the formula for success. And hopefully can you guys see this pretty good? Hopefully you can see it. And well, actually, before we get there, you guys heard me say this.
Mike, can you maybe bring it up a little bit? I think it's.
Sure, apologize.
Allow me to remind you, I used to make this mistake. If you do the top right under view and you do it under speaker, you get to see him taking most of the screen, so you can see it better, as opposed to just in the gallery, which is much smaller.
The daggone sun's got me messed up, Kyron. Is that better?
I can see it. I think that's good because I can see the letters very well. So
okay, sorry guys, the lighting and the snow and stuff's throwing me off. But so before we get into this formula, I want you to write something on your paper. 80% and write an X through it. People who know me know I say this. I recite this all the time. The National Science Foundation says we have 12 to 50 some odd thousand thoughts per day, and 80% of them are negative. That's why mindset matters. 80% of them are negative, and 95% of them are repetitious from previous days. So mindset matters in order to bring that 20% positive to the forefront, so that you can build your business and grow your business with that positive mindset in mind, if you will. So it's a choice. It's a hard choice every day, but it's a choice we all have, is to have that positive mindset. So the formula for success, D, and please write this on your sheet as well. D times G times L times P times A equals success. You're like, okay, what does any of that stand for? D, dreams. It all starts with dreams. When you close your eyes and dream about the future for your business and the future potential wealth for your family and the legacy and the impact you have, when you dream and can think of what that is, it all starts with the ability for you to dream. Okay. And we all need to dream. Please don't shy away from dreaming big. Okay. Dream big. Dreams times goals. Okay. Goals, we've all heard SMART goals, right? And Gonzalo had to help me with this acronym, but specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound. So you want your goals to be SMART, acronym SMART goals. Starts with dreams, you're layering down into goals. Goals then takes you into learning. If you don't continuously learn, you're going to fall behind. And I don't necessarily like this saying, but it really applies. If you're not growing, you're dying. I hate the use of the word dying. I almost think if you're not growing, you're standing still or moving backwards, okay? That's the essence of it. So you need to learn. We have to constantly learn and with this pandemic, we're learning new ways to go to market and how we get to our target market and all those different things. You've got to continually learn. You guys are learning right now. You're continuing to take in information around you and learn and grow. So L, learn. P, plans. You need to build plans. You know, what we like to share is, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, 90 days. In the 90 days, we put really in focus and want to hold business owners accountable to those 90 days. My point being, the planning is a big part of this, because if you don't plan, you're going to end up wherever you end up. And if you're satisfied with that, so be it. The other thing that I've seen, and I'm going to really mess this up, but I'm going to try to verbalize it. 3% of the world's wealth is with the people who have not only taken their plans and put their plans in their mind, but they've taken them to paper and they hold themselves accountable to reach those plans. The point being, there's a small percentage of people that will put themselves out there. Those who do that are very much more apt to not only reach, but exceed those goals. Okay, so put yourself out there, plan, hold yourself accountable, find others to hold you accountable to those plans. So, and of course the A is action. None of this matters if you don't take action. If you're crippled by the fact that you're not going to move or act, then you're in trouble. You got to be able to take the action. So dreams times goals times learn times plan times act. Formula for success. That's how you're going to have success in your business. That's how you're going to translate that success for your business into success for your life. Okay. So there's lots and lots of correlation between the two. So that's our mindset moment for this session. I'd like to transfer it over to Gonzalo to talk a little bit about the 5 ways, introduce the concept a little more, and then he'll come back to me to wrap things up later. Gonzalo.
Thank you, Mike. I'm hoping everybody can see me and hear me fine. So my name is Gonzalo Herrera, another one of the founding partners. And Mike does it every week. He does our intro with mind setting, and he's really into it. It's very important, but he's really, really good into explaining it. He really likes it. So good job, Mike. So what I'm going to do today, as Mike said, I'm going to get a little more into the 5 ways, but I would like to first reposition you, all right, into where are we? And especially for Matt and Bill, this will be very helpful. We talked last week about what we call our 6 steps process, our overall methodology that we follow with all of our customers, right? And we start with mastery, the basics of the business, going into marketing to have a more predictable cash flow. We go into systems and processes, doing ever more with less, having the right team, achieving a synergy, and then having that freedom to do what you want to do. If you want to keep running the business, if you want somebody else to manage it, if it's a legacy for somebody else, or selling, right? But the good thing would be to have that freedom to do that. Now, within this process, where we're spending our time is this marketing part. Mike was talking about the 5 ways. So here's where that plays, right? Under that marketing. And we call it the 5 ways because, as we discussed last week, the 5 items in blue are the ones that we can really affect, right? The ones in red, very important, obviously, but they are outcomes, right? Customers are an outcome of leads time conversion. Revenue is an outcome of customers, transactions, and average sale. And profit is a result of revenue times the profit margin, right? So, and these 5 blue ones is where we're going to focus the rest of the time, all right? So for today, I actually put some numbers into this formula, right? Because I want to show you the power that it has. Now, the ideal situation is once we talk about your numbers, right? Those are the ones that make more sense. But again, to walk you through this, let's talk about a small business. These are yearly numbers, okay? So this is a business that has 4,000 leads a year. They convert 1 out of every 4. So my math tells me that is 1,000 customers that they convert, right? These 1,000 customers buy from this business twice a year, right? And these number of transactions, they're gonna vary a lot depending on your business and your industry. If your service or product is very specialized, this number is gonna be low. If you're more a retail type of product, it's gonna be a greater number, right? So this, and again, this is an average. Some people may come once, some people may come 10 times, right? So we're going with 2. And the average dollar sale, $100. Again, average, some may spend 50, some may spend 1,000. So 1,000 customers buying twice a year, $100 transaction, that's $200,000, right? We multiply that by your profit margin. And again, small businesses do 25%, not complicated. And we have $50,000 in profit so far. We're good? Any questions, comments? All right. So as we mentioned before, and I'll say it again today, on average, on each one of these 5 ways, we have 70 different strategies that we bring to the table for you to use. They don't all apply to all businesses, and that's why we have so many on each one. So we can build a plan for you with what works for you. So let's say that with the strategies that we have, and for the example, for you to see how the math works, if we can increase by 10% what we're doing. And as we talked last week, even if we all want to grow, we got to be careful. We don't want to grow too fast, too quick, because then we have other type of problems and we cannot deliver, quality suffers. And as quickly as we went up, we will go down because people start talking and they're not going to like your services or products, right? So let's say it's 10%. So let's do some math here, right? So 10% on the leads, this is per year again, it's not per week or per month. 4,400, right? Conversion rate, 10%, not 10 points, not 35%, 10% of 25%, right? So 2.5. So we have 27.5%. That's what I'm saying. A 10% goal for the year, it's actually very realistic. Here we go with the first big change that we see. That is 1,210, all right? 10% increase on these 2 are going to give us a 25% increase in the number of leads, all right? So this is the part that I wanted to focus on. You start seeing that compounding factor here, right? So transactions, again, 10%, 2.2. So we're not talking anything crazy of an increase per year, right? 2.2. How about your average sale? $110 per transaction. Now, again, so we can see that 10% what it does. 1210 customers, 2.2 times 110. It's going to give us $292,820. That is a 46% increase on your revenue. Okay? And again, I keep reminding you, and some of you may be thinking, my business, I don't know if I can increase 10%, let's say the leads in a year. Some of them, you may be able to increase 5%. Some others, you may be able to increase 15%. You know, it makes up for it. But I'm telling you, just with testing and measuring, knowing where your investments are going, figuring out what return you're getting, you're going to start making better decisions. And that 10%
Yeah,
is
he wants to
achievable.
talk to you.
I'm on the phone, I can't.
Oh, okay.
I'm in a meeting.
So
Yeah.
we now in revenue, profit, again, 25%, an increase of 10%. Same as up here. 27.5. You know what this gives us? $80,525, right? So this is a 61% increase. 46% here. 21% here. All right? So just let that sink in your mind there for a little bit. Those are the type of changes that can be achieved by doing this. Okay? And again, we see numbers that are greater than 10% when we first start. But you got to be very careful. And I cannot stress this enough. If you don't have the back of the office, the operational part really working for you, I see your heads nodding. It happens, right? Sometimes imagine what you're doing right now, right? Imagine that grows overnight by 10, by 15. It's crazy, right? It's when you think about it, you say, oh, that would be a great problem to have. Yes, but it could get really, really big, right? Or those that for you, you're a single person operation or a 2 people operation where you physically, yes, Jordan, I think this is similar to you too, right? It's really physically hard or impossible to really do it, right? But this is how the 5 ways work. Again, very, very powerful. We told you that since last week. The formula is fairly simple, right? Fairly simple, and it makes a lot of sense. But that 10% really does a lot. So what we're going to be doing over the next the balance of today's conversation and over the next 2 weeks, we are going to focus on each one of the 5 ways, and we're going to talk about it. And we're actually going to give you a couple of strategies here and there, a couple of tips on things that you can do. And again, we have many strategies, and some may work really well for you, some may not, but that's why we have so many of them. All right. So any questions or comments so far? So a lot of heads shaking yes when I said some things. Anything that comes to your mind regarding the 5 ways? By a bunch.
I'm just thinking, like, because I can see my analytics on the back end, if I were to try to go gather these numbers for myself just to get an idea of what I've actually achieved, would I just do it like each individual year, or compile all the years together for the numbers, or just focus on the last year? This
As a
last.
matter of fact, for starters, it'll be great to look at last year, but as you go, you should look at it monthly.
Monthly.
And see
Okay.
where those leads are coming. This is just to show you the overall, right? And
Okay.
depending on your business, you may actually want to go smaller, because for some businesses, you need to know, and that is the key of it, right? When we talked about mastery last week and we said the basics of your business, you want to know some key performance indicators. You don't want to wait the year, the quarter, the month to see how you're performing, right? So for your business, Sestany, you need to have, let's say, 300 leads a month. You want to make sure that weekly you're hitting that 75 mark,
Yeah.
right? You don't want to get to the end of the month and say, ooh, I'm short 100. No, you want to go 75 a week. What does that mean? 15 a day. Am I doing that, right? 15 a day, because I know I convert 25%, so I need to get good 15 leads a day. So you backtrack it daily basis and make sure that you're doing it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Thank
a very
you.
good question. Oh, I thought I heard somebody else. All right. So this is the 5 ways. And again, now I'm going to send it back to Mike. And Mike is going to start talking to us about these. And we're going to cover leads right now. All right. So Mike.
Great. Thanks, Gonzalo. Here's what I would like to start with. If you're not tracking this data today, start today. Okay. I wouldn't spend a lot of time necessarily. I mean, Gonzalo makes a great point about look back 1 year, but I think what's as important, maybe more important, is putting something in place so you can measure it going forward. The other piece of this is, this is a crazy way to approach it, but I'm sure many of you are saying, yeah, great, 61% profit. Yeah, right. Those guys are giving me math. Marketing is math, okay? And it really becomes a function of what are the key variables to get you more customers. Most people say, I need more customers. I need more customers. I need more revenue. I need more profit. Most people say that, and they focus on those three, but they don't break it down and go one step backwards and focus on what the inputs are. Okay. If you want more customers, it's not about just poof, there's more customers. It's impacting leads and impacting your conversion rate. So we're going to talk about leads for a moment, but by a show of hands, if you would, how many of you are keeping track of your number of leads on a given monthly basis? Okay. So if you walk away from this with just this one point, start tracking your leads and where they come from. Okay. So let's talk about leads for a minute. Again, Gonzalo painted the picture of 61% growth, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Focus on one of those five and nail it. Okay. How many of you would take 10% overall growth right now? I mean, we all would, right? With everything going on. So, okay, focus on what mathematically is it going to take? How many leads do I use a guesstimation until you get your conversion rate? Use a guesstimation of 50%. So if I have, 10 leads come in and I'm converting 5 of them, or 50% of them, I'm getting 5 new customers. So until you have your own, guesstimate, okay? But you want to know the math. So how many leads do I need to send into that funnel in order to create me new customers? As Gonzalo mentioned, we have a list of 70, and honestly, if I'm in your chair, I don't care. I don't care what your list says. I don't care how many you have. What I care about is give me 2, give me 3 ideas that are going to work for me and for my business. And that's what we're going to challenge you with in your homework is it's all well and good to talk theory, but let's talk, right down in it, your business. Okay. And that's what our phone call and our homework for next week's going to be all about. Let's talk about leads. So if you can drive a 10% increase in your leads, you're going to have some real impact to your number of customers. So what is leads? Gonzalo called out, I think it was last week, but you know what marketing is? It's buying customers. It's buying customers, and it's math. Most people think that marketing is all about the colors of things on the piece of paper. Honestly, if you need to step a step back and say, in order for me to go generate more leads, I need to understand what is unique about what I do. Why would someone buy from me versus buying from competitor ABC or other company Z? Why would they choose to buy from you? So it's a worthy place to start to say, what's my unique selling proposition or USP? Okay, what's unique about me? If you tell me customer service, I'm going to say, so what? Because guess what everybody says? Customer service. If you tell me I have a quality product, I'd say, so what? Because guess what everybody else says? I've got a quality product. So you need to find a way to figure out what your USP or unique selling proposition is. As important for the next step is your target market, okay? And who is it exactly that's an ideal client for you? Because these guys get tired of hearing me say this, our Pinnacle team, we can't fish in the ocean. I want to go fish where my fish type are, okay? And I want to put the bait that applies to them in the water, okay? Because if your target is a plumber, you think a plumber is going to be on social media all day long? Maybe. but probably not, right? You think a plumber might, meet at a establishment in the evening and have a beverage or two with the other the plumber association? Probably a better chance of finding the plumber there. Okay. So, Matt, I think one of the things that Matt, you had said in one of your challenges is the selling cycle is long and people buy only twice a year. So you're really going to have to back up and say, how many leads in the funnel do I need? And what are the strategies I need to do to drive it, 10%, shoot for double digits right now, 10%. What do I need to do? I could share with you some different client testimonials, but at the end of the day, you guys need to decide specifically what are those. And I always use the rule of 3. Okay. I think there's some math out there, some mental mindset thinking that says there's magic to the rule of 3. Identify 3 strategies in leads that work for you. Is it a direct email? Is it a direct mail? How many of you are using direct mail? Show of hands. Good, Bill. 2. Okay, Dennis, you are 2. I would tell you most people today say, oh gosh, direct mail, that's a dinosaur. What I would say to you is, how many emails do you get today? Probably 100. How many pieces of mail when you go to your mailbox will you have out there today? 5? Maybe less than 5? If you get the right messaging and you're one of 5, your odds are a whole lot better in the direct mail than they are in the email. But again, it all depends upon what your product is and what your messaging is. So back to target. Target market is critical. Understanding your ideal client, do the work, figure out who, if I could find these guys, are our ideal client, not the price shopper, the person that's ideal for you. Sestany, I think about your website. How do we bring more people into your website to buy your all natural products? How do we do that? So that's what, what we need to do is figure out what are those 3 things. And there's a lot of people that are going to say, well, man, I got 10 ideas. I'm going to try all 10. And again, these guys get sick of hearing me say this, but I will come back with, would you rather do 10 things 25% of the way, or 3 things 100% of the way that are going to have a significant impact on your business once they're completed? Because otherwise you're going to constantly be in the work in progress mode all the time, and you're never going to get to action. So circling back to leads. Okay, I want you guys to write this down. And again, I know I'm putting a bunch out there. I'm not using any visuals because I want to dialogue about it, and I'm going to shut up and let you talk here in a moment. Okay, when you think of whatever marketing piece you're using to get to your target customer, what do you think is most important? Target, offer, or what do they call it? What am I trying to say? Copy. I couldn't think of the copy. Thank you, Gonzalo. Target, offer, or copy. Which one of the 3 you think is most important of those 3? Let's see here. Matt, which one do you think?
I'll go with target. If you're spreading broad, I mean, you might be able to reach 10 million people, but 2 of those people might be the only people you're actually really trying to own in on.
Okay, okay, Jordan, put those in the order you think they are prioritized between those 3 the 3 that I gave you. Target, offer, copy.
So what do you mean by copy?
So if you put a marketing piece together and you send it out to your audience, what's the most important thing that as you're putting this piece together that you need to keep in mind?
Okay, I'd probably say target is primary because I kind of specialize in a specific thing, and it won't really apply to just anybody. And then I would think probably second would be, I would think offer. And then,
And then copy.
yeah,
Bill, how about you? What would you say? What's the order you would say?
I think I would go target, copy, then offer.
Okay.
I'm just thinking in my business, that's the way we do it.
Okay. Sestany, what do you think?
Sorry, I had to unmute. Again, I'm so sorry, but when you were explaining copy to Jordan, I was like distracted by a sound outside. So can you?
It's okay. Target, offer, copy. So target is you targeted the piece to speak to your audience.
Right.
Offer is some call to action that you put in the piece, and copy would be the colors, the presentation.
Okay.
The actual piece.
Yeah, the
Okay.
actual piece itself.
Okay, sorry. I would think, well, you probably need to know your target audience before you would create your copy.
Okay.
And then I think that I would just say the same as Bill, target, offer, copy.
Bill was target, copy, offer, weren't you?
Huh?
Bill, you were target, copy, offer, right?
Yeah.
Target, copy, offer, yes.
So you would be the same thing, Sestany? Lori, I skipped over you. What about you?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I would say probably target, copy, and then offer is what I would say. I have such a target audience. And then I think copy is important because you've got to somehow lure them in to look at that before you can give them an offer.
Okay, good, thank you. Dennis.
I would say target, copy, offer. We do drawings, so if I have a good drawing of a celebrity you like, you might read the piece.
Let me see if I can find a blank sheet of paper in it. Well, I don't have a blank handy here. I think I hit Kelly. What would you think?
I'm gonna go with target, offer, then copy.
Okay, write this on your paper. Okay, because I'm not doing a good job of finding space to write it on. Okay, target 10 out of 10. Offer 5 out of 10. Copy 1 out of 10. So when you think about the importance, that gives you a proportional perspective of the importance. Now, I heard you guys explain, which was pretty good, about your message about copy was compelling, but offer is going to get their attention more than, does this apply to me, is what they're answering with offer. And then they're going to look at what's all the copy and how's it being presented. And most people, honestly, Matt, if you wouldn't have got us started off with Target, I'm not sure everybody would have led with Target, because most people don't think of Target as being that dramatically the top choice. But how many of you are targeting today? How many of you are doing a good job in your estimation of targeting today? Yes? Okay. What makes you say that? And how can you do a better job? Because I think the value and your leads are going to and your customers are going to dramatically increase the better you get at targeting. Okay. And I'll be honest, that's one of the things I was the worst at. I wanted to solve everybody's problem. I can solve all your problems instead of, here's the problem that's applicable to you right now, and here's what I can help you solve right now. Kyron, you deal in marketing every day, and that's your specialty. Anything you would add in this area?
I think the only thing I would say is that offer can be subjective, right? I think when most people hear the word offer, they think, oh, 25% off, or save this or save that. But there are lots of ways to make an offer without giving money away, right? And it comes in the form of like a unique selling proposition, right? Or a USP, which I think one of you guys have touched on USP. a little bit already. So I think that's just a really important thing to keep in mind.
Yep. So circling back, what does all of this stuff, how does it impact leads? Leads is the top of the funnel, and leads are what you're bringing in and what you're starting with to figure out how can I turn them into customers, and ultimately how can I turn them into profit at the bottom of the funnel. So again, when we call this week, and actually the homework that we're going to ask you to do, your homework for this upcoming week is two lead strategies that are currently working for you. Actually, one lead strategy that's working for you, and what are two new ones? Okay, the person who's most creative, I will give Instant Leads by Brad Sugar. That's about almost 200 pages worth of in-depth discussion about leads and lead options. Again, we could spend, the better part of 2 hours talking about lead options and going through that list of 70, but that's not effective because, this 70 has worked for, 80,000 businesses around the world. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What are the 2 to 3 that are going to work for you? Okay. And it all starts with what's unique about me, and where is it that my customer is, where can I talk to them at? Before social media and before, a lot of the technology that's in place, most of it was cold calling and in-person, face-to-face calling. Those days we're well beyond that. And I actually was having a conversation with Bill earlier today. We're both of the generation of face-to-face selling. And he does a lot of that in his day-to-day business today. But the reality is, now that we've been through the pandemic and everyone sees the efficiency of virtual, as I like to say, the toothpaste is out of the container, it's not going back in. So we have to figure out, how can we be as effective in a virtual environment? Honestly, I would rather have this training in person. But going forward, are you going to, so we're asking for 45 minutes in this setting, but if you were coming somewhere to be trained, potentially 30 minutes to get there, 30 minutes to drive back. So now all of a sudden you're talking about almost 2 hours. And what's the most valuable commodity you have right now is your time. Okay, so making the best use of it. So homework, 1 lead strategy that's working, 2 that are new strategies you want to try. Most creative will get the book, and we'll see that via the homework. In the meantime, Gonzalo and I will reach out, and I know Kyron and or Katrina, you'll see messages primarily from Katrina reminding you of the session, reminding you when homework's due, those kind of things. What I'd like to do as we wrap up today, because our promise is 45 minutes. What I'd like to do is just open up let you just say, hey, here's my reaction to the last 43 minutes. Again, is lead strategy, I hate to use the word rocket science. It's not, but it's got to be focus. Okay. And understanding the 5 ways and how to impact them is what we want you to take away from this. And that there is growth in your 5 ways. We just have to find where it's at and identify strategies for you to go after. So I'm going to open up the microphone. You don't have to say anything. It's okay. And just a reaction as we wrap up with about 2 minutes here.
I just want to quickly say thank you for the leads times conversion, like helping me understand what that can look like. Because I have watched my analytics. I just didn't really know what to do with them. So now I have a more concrete idea of how to see even where I have been. And then I have a couple ideas on how to, maybe generate more leads or see if I actually have more leads than I thought I did. You know what I mean? Because that can help change your mindset in a positive way too. So thank you.
We're going to talk conversion rate next time, but leads and conversion rates, some combination of that formula can impact new customers. Kyron, were you gonna say something? I couldn't tell if you, no, okay.
Well, that Sestini was still talking, but she was on mute.
Oh,
All
I'm
right,
sorry.
I was gonna say, basically, you guys like helped me think of it in a more simple way. It's been just so big in my mind, and you made me realize like it's actually, it's not easy, but it's a lot easier than I thought to identify where my holes are.
Focus, yes, absolutely. And
Excellent.
next week, like Mike said, we'll be going over conversion rate and transactions, but that conversion rate next week with what we talked about today will make even more sense.
We want to simplify it, but Sestini, you said it, it's not simple. Simple and formulaic, but not simple to execute and get the result from. So anybody else? Jordan, Matt, Lori, Bill, Kelly, Dennis, anybody have anything they would say? And again, you don't have to say anything, whatever's on your mind. Jordan, you unmuted. Does that mean you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was just making sure I didn't, if someone was going to chime in. I've just been kind of, because what I do is kind of different. I mean, I kind of work as a freelancer and also a person that, you know, offers their services solely by themselves. So I've been mostly thinking about how I can translate leads into what I do the whole time. So one specific example is thinking of, like, mostly what I do is video for motorsports. And in the past, there's other categories to do too, like other sports and you know, corporate type video and everything. But I've sort of been trying to think of a new category that kind of has maybe like fingers off of it, like an entire category that has multiple leads coming off of that. So I've just been trying to sort of see how that translates to what I do. I know that's kind of a hodgepodge of information.
Well, sometimes the best ideas come out of necessity during crazy times.
Yeah.
And so that idea you're percolating in your head right now could be a breakthrough idea that breaks the bank for you. So don't underestimate it.
Let me say something
Yeah.
here. Mike, you're absolutely right. When you first started talking, Jordan, that reminded me exactly what we went over with COVID, where people had to diversify, if you would, right? The word was pivot, everybody was using it. But yes, so I would say, going back to what Kyron said, Jordan, and what Mike was explaining, it may go back to your USP, unique selling proposition, and your target audience. Right now, you're being very specific, but now you're thinking, how can I broaden that USP? It doesn't mean be everything to everybody, but find another niche that you can be everything to that niche, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yes, that's a good topic for conversation, actually, on the brief call that we'll have with you this week. But yeah, it's those are good thoughts.
Yeah.
Bill, Matt, you're new to this week. Any initial reactions?
On my end, with respect to the math itself, I often say that, you know, the beauty of math is it doesn't lie, though it can be manipulated. The beauty of it is it isn't a large, scary goal. Like, you can break it down into tangible steps that you ultimately do reap what you sow, as long as you're focusing your energy on the right benchmarks, the right KPIs. The natural byproduct, with a variety of variables, is the end result that you're seeking. So I think that's spot on. And then with respect to Jordan, being in the experiential setting, I have served in the motorsports in very much in a similar aspect. What I'm currently wrestling with is partnering with other service agencies that might not offer that specific service offering per se, but equally so everybody's able to broaden their horizons and serve as a white label provider in that capacity. So just thinking out loud, that's an initial thought that comes to mind, and have seen some traction on that front, but appreciate the time and look forward to, the next couple of weeks.
Good, Bill.
Yeah, I was just going to say, obviously COVID affected my business quite a bit. I mean, before, a lot of everything was face to face with me. I think this is exactly what I need to think outside the box. The good thing for me is, Mike, we've got a new product. So I think the change is going to be made easier for me with that new product. It's going to make me think differently. And this is just exactly what I need. And I'm more excited to hear about what everyone else is going to come up with than what I'm going to come up with. So,
Yeah,
And
that's a
Bill,
great byproduct of this is the community.
let me say to that, Bill, one phrase that we like to use is, it's not so much you need to step out of the box. Let's make the box bigger.
yeah.
Let's make it bigger. Yeah, absolutely.
Good stuff. Anybody else have anything they would add? All right, we'll wrap up. Again, remember the homework. Look for emails from Katrina, and be on the lookout for calls from Gonzalo and I, and let's make it meaningful for your business. That's where it becomes impactful, and that's what we're looking to help you with. Okay, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.